get started. This is my detailed version of the Crochet House Slipper. Here are some quick references to shoe size charts that give you inches and centimeters to the shoe size, so I hope it helps you better determine how big to make your slipper. I will be showing you 4 widths: narrow, regular, wide, and an extra wide. All the slippers on the top row were done with a bulky or super bulky yarn and a 6mm crochet hook. The slippers on the bottom, with the same pattern of width, was done in a medium weight yarn using a 4mm hook. Remember, the length of these slippers are all adjustable. You can make them shorter or longer. The wider you go, the larger the opening around the ankle. For this project, you will need the 4 or 6mm crochet hook, some scissors, measuring tape, and a darning needle. For the bulky yarn, I used a number 5 bulky yarn. You will need about 100 grams or 3.5 ounces for one slipper. We will start with the regular width. I will make this portion very detailed, and then I'll just have a summary of how you can adjust these to make other widths. So this is a great little house slipper that is crocheted. You can make it any length you would like. So this one here, being the regular width, we will make. I have adjusted with a new back portion or heel, how I've come up here as a point, and then you will see that you don't have as many ends to tie in. So my finished slipper is about 9.5 inches or 24 centimeters in length. Refer back to the chart to be sure you make the correct size. So the width of this is 7 across, so 7 front post double crochet along the top, and it gives about a 4-inch width or 10 centimeter. For these slippers here, I used a super bulky number 6 yarn. The slipper on the left was with a number 5 bulky. Both were made with a 6mm crochet hook. These were made with the exact stitch count. You can see how the one just came out a little bit bigger. Another way to adjust this size is to use a number 4 medium weight yarn, and I did this with a 4mm crochet hook. This again is the exact same pattern. You can see how you will have to adjust some of your length in the toe portion to get your correct size depending on what yarn you're using and what hook. To get the small slipper with a bulky yarn, refer to the narrow version, and that way you can see how it'll be sized up as well. The yellow one here is the narrow version with just 6 front post double crochet across the front and less stitches on the side. The smaller weight yarn gave me a finish of about 7 inches or 18 centimeters. And the width about 3 inches or 8 centimeters. Your length can always be adjusted. So for the first part, the toe portion, you can always make this part a little bit shorter. Or you can make it longer by adjusting in this section here. Okay, let's get crocheting. Let's start with the magic circle. Create a loop. Then you can just insert your hook under that one portion, lift it up, and do a chain 1. This is one of the most simple ways to make your magic ring or magic circle. We will then start by doing double crochet, and we're going to put 13 double crochet into this circle. We will then slip stitch to join in the top of the first double crochet. So slip stitch right in there. Pull snug. We will weave the end in later. For round 2, we will start with a chain 1, and then we're going to put 2 double crochet in each stitch. Let's start in that very first stitch. There's 1 double crochet and 2. Going into the next stitch, 2 double crochet. There's 1 and 2. Continue this all the way around. This is our last space here with 2 double crochet. And again we will slip stitch to join in the top of our first double crochet. So this round here will equal 26 stitches. We will now start the main pattern. Start with the chain 1. We will now do our front post double crochet. Yarn over, and going around that double crochet from the round below, we're going to go behind it. So behind the post. So that brings the post forward, which is why it's called a front post. We can then yarn over, pull up the loop, we will yarn over and pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2, completing our double crochet. Our chain 1 on the side right here will not count as a stitch. That is our first stitch. So we will do 7 front post double crochet. This will be the top of our slipper. We will then do back post double crochet. Yarning over, going from behind, we will go around the post. This brings the post to the back. Going around the post, then draw up a loop, bring it all the way up. You will yarn over and go through 2, and yarn over, go through 2. That is a back post double crochet. Let's do 3 in total. This is part of the side of the slipper. So now we will do 3 front post double crochet. For the bottom of the slipper, we will do 7 back post double crochet. Working along the side, 3 front post double crochet, and then we will do 3 back post double crochet. We will then slip stitch to join in the top of the very first double crochet. So right in the first one. So that is round 3, and we're going to repeat this round 3 until we have our correct length for our toe. So for each row, we will start with the chain 1, and then the pattern is written on the top here. So let's do one more round together. So 7 front post double crochet. And these are going around the 7 front post from the round below. Working on the sides, 3 back post. So we're going around the ones from the back post from the round below. Three front post double crochet. Seven back post double crochet for the bottom of the slipper. And finishing the side with 3 front post double crochet and 3 back post double crochet. Finish each row with a slip stitch to join. And starting with the chain 1. So now we can continue along with this pattern. You should have a good idea how to do it now. At this point, we can turn our work inside out and just weave in the beginning yarn. So with your darning needle, make sure you pull your magic circle snug and then just put your ends in and out to weave. So let's just repeat this pattern until we have reached the correct length for your foot size. So I finished after 12 rounds. My measurement was about 5.5 inches or 14 centimeters. Your toe should look like this being the top of the slipper, and then having the sides, and then the bottom of the slipper. You can see these rounds are easy to count. So starting at the bottom, here's row 1, and then row 2 is right here, that one here. So then you go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Once you have reached your correct length, we will now start with the sides. We will put our sides in rows. This will be row 1. So do not chain. We are just going to turn our work. And working from the back side or the inside of the slipper, we're just going to slip stitch over 1 stitch. This kind of puts us in line right here at the top of this double crochet. We will chain 2. This will count as our first double crochet. We're then going to follow this with 2 front post double crochet. We will now do 3 back post double crochet. This is the side of the slipper. Moving to the sole of the slipper, we will now do 7 front post double crochet. At this point, if you're doing a wider version of slipper, this number will be different. We can then do 3 back post double crochet, and then 3 front post double crochet to finish row 1. This is the top part that we will come back to later. We will finish here. For row 2, we're going to start with a chain 2. Again, this will count as the first double crochet, and then we will turn. So now for this round, we're going to start with 2 back post double crochet. And now 3 front post double crochet. Follow this with 7 back post double crochet. 3 front post double crochet, and 3 back post double crochet. So the first 2 are pretty easy. We're going around the double crochets from the round below, and the next one. And the last back post double crochet, we're going to go around the chain 2. So right on here. So still do the back post around that chain 2. And now you have row 2. So here we have 1 and row 2. We're now going to repeat row 1. So for row 3, a repeat of row 1, chain 2 and turn. This counts as your first double crochet. Just follow the pattern as written above. I will meet you at the end of the row. And here we are just finishing with our 3 front post double crochet and the last one going around that chain to finish row 3. Starting with the chain 2 and turn, we're going to do row 4. Row 4 will be a repeat of row 2. Follow the pattern above and I'll meet you at the end. You can see your rows on the side where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll be doing one more. So row 5 will be a repeat of row 1. You should now have 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We will now start closing it off with the heel. So the heel will come out probably a little bit longer, a couple more rows to close that off and around. If you think you need to have this portion longer, you can add 2 more rows here if needed. By adding 2 more rows, you're actually creating a little bit of a larger hole as well for the ankle part. You should finish your rows here. So let's just start now with row 6. We're going to start with the chain 2 and turn. We will then do 2 back post double crochet. Follow this with 1 front post double crochet. We're now going to do a decrease. We're going to do a front post double crochet, decrease. So going around the first post, we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, and we're going to stop. Then we're going to start going around the next post. Yarn over, go around the second post, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop. We will then yarn over and pull through all 3. We have just put those 2 posts into one. We're calling that a front post double crochet decrease. So now we've made 3 into 2. For the next section, we're going to make these 7 stitches here decrease to 5. So we're going to start with the back post double crochet decrease. Going around the first one and stopping. Going around the second one. Yarn over, go through 2, stop. Yarn over, go through all 3. So that's 1 decrease. Then do 3 back post double crochet. So this is number 2 and number 3. And the next one will be a back post double crochet decrease. So putting the next 2 stitches here into 1. Going around the first one and around the second one. Let's try that again. Yarn over, go through all 3 on the hook. And now we have had those 7 stitches into 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We will then do a front post double crochet decrease. And then a front post double crochet. And if you look, this will match the other side. And to finish this row, we're going to do 3 back post double crochet. For row 7, we'll start with the chain 2 and turn. We're now going to go 2 front post double crochet. And then 2 back post double crochet. You'll see we only have 2 here now. We are now going to decrease our 5 stitches to 3 stitches. Let's start with the front post double crochet decrease. So going around the first one and then the second one. And then continue with a front post double crochet. And then another front post double crochet decrease. You can now see the 5 are now 3. Continue with 2 back post double crochet. And then 3 front post double crochet. You can now see how the heel is starting to take shape. For row 8, we're going to start with a chain 2 and turn. We will do 2 back post double crochet. We will now do a decrease. So let's do these 2 stitches with a front post double crochet decrease. 3 back post double crochet, a front post double crochet decrease, and finish this row with 3 back post double crochet. Row 9, we'll start with a chain 2 and turn. Let's start with 2 front post double crochet. Then 1 back post double crochet. And now we're going to put 3 front posts together. So we're going to call this a 3 front post double crochet decrease. We're going to go around the first post, stop. Then we're going to go around the second one, going through 2 and stopping. And now we're going to go through the third, just going through 2 and stopping. And now we're going to yarn over and go through all 4. We have just decreased these 3 stitches to 1. We'll then do a back post double crochet and 3 front post double crochet. For row 10, do not chain 1, just turn. We're then going to do 1 front post double crochet decrease. We're going to take these 2 stitches here and bring them together to make 1. So around that first post, then we're going to go all the way over to the other one, yarning over, pull through 2, and we're going to bring that together for 1 stitch. We're going to finish this round by putting a slip stitch in the top of the second chain. So finding the top part of that second chain right there, let's slip stitch to join. This has now brought the heel all the way together and has made its shape. We can now start crocheting around the ankle part. We will find the end of each row. So at the end of each row, you will see how when we made the turn that we can go around that portion. So in there and around there. So you just kind of have to pull it up to find out where you're going to go around. So let's start where we left off. We're going to start with the chain 1, and from now on everything will be front post double crochet. Our first front post is going to be around this stitch here, so not this one right beside, but right here. So just find that space there. So let's do our first front post double crochet. And we're going to do 8 of them. So there's 1, and then just finding the next row. Here we have 2, 3, and 4, this will be 5, six, 7, 'and this one here is number 8. The next one is kind of like a corner, so we're going to put those two together. So we're just going to go around both of them because it's like a corner one. So here we will have our one corner double crochet. This is how it should look so far. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the corner. We will now do our 7 double crochet along the front of the slipper. So remember, we're not doing that little chain 1 there. Don't do that, just the 7 double crochet on the front. If you are doing the wide or extra wide version, this is exactly the same stitches on the side, but you will have more across the front or top of the slipper. You will then see the next corner. So if you look at it, it's kind of like almost 2 stitches are there. We're going to go around both of it. So just around all of that on the corner. And then we will have 8 more double crochet until we reach back to the heel. And here is number 8. And now we will just do a 1 center double crochet. So around that center one here, we're going to do 1 front post double crochet. So around the center, and then we will slip stitch to join in the top of the first double crochet that we started. We will now do each row with front double crochet. So each round will be 26 stitches. We will start with the chain 1 and then go around that first double crochet. So keep going all the way around. Each row will be 26 stitches. So you're just going to go around the one from the round below. Your last front post double crochet will always be in the center back. So this one here is stitch 26. And then always slip stitch to join and start with the chain 1. You can now make this ankle part or cuff as high as you would like. On this slipper here, I did a different color for the cuff. This is the regular width slipper, so the same amount of stitches. And then I just changed my color up, added a different one just for a variation. And I made a lot of different rows so I could roll it down. You'll find though, the more rows you go, it kind of does a little bit of a twist. So it looks like it kind of goes up at an angle. So you're not going to really want to go much higher than this. And then if you roll it down, it has such a unique design and pattern to it that it just becomes a beautiful slipper. For this particular slipper, I did a few extra rows as well to make it higher, but on the very last row, I decided to do a reverse single crochet at the top. You can see here in this extra little video at the top, this is how you do the reverse single crochet. And then when you roll it down, it gives a tiny little cuff. Another variation and so cute. Once you've determined how high you'd like your slipper, you can just cut your yarn and pull through. We will then join with an invisible stitch and weave in your end. With your darning needle, we're going to take our end and we're going to put it into our top of our first double crochet. So we're going to go from the front to the back, and then we're going to go back into that last stitch we made, just into the back section, then grabbing some yarn from inside the slipper. So we've kind of made like an extra stitch in there, but it ties it off really nicely on the top, and then you can just weave your end in and cut the yarn. The wide width. You'll see when we do the wide width, on the regular width we have 7 front double crochets across the top. On the wide one we have 8. This will give it 2 stitches more all the way around. For this slipper I used a number 5 bulky yarn, and it takes about 100 grams or 3.5 ounces for one slipper. The slipper on the left was done with a 6mm hook and a bulky yarn, and the slipper on the right is done with a 4mm hook and a medium weight yarn. This slipper can be made any length. Let's start with the magic circle. Chain 1, and let's do 7 single crochet inside of our circle. Pull snug and slip stitch to join in the top of the first single crochet. For round 2, let's chain 1, and we're going to put a double crochet in that very first stitch. We will then put another double crochet in the same stitch. So we will have 2 double crochet in each stitch. Continue this all the way around and you will have 14 stitches. Slip stitch to join in the top of the first double crochet and chain 1 to begin round 3. Again, we will put 2 double crochet in each stitch, starting in the very first stitch, 2 double crochet, and repeat this all the way around and you will have 28 stitches. For round 4, we will start with the chain 1, and now we will do our front post double crochet. So going around that very first one, we will put 8 front post double crochet. Remember, if you don't know how to do this, refer back to the regular width where I do detailed step-by-step instructions. This will be the top of our slipper. To continue on the side, we will do 3 back post double crochet, followed by 3 front post double crochet. Then for the bottom of the slipper, 8 back post double crochet. Then 3 front post double crochet, and finishing with 3 back post double crochet. Remember to weave in your beginning yarn. Repeat round 4 until you have your desired length. Once you have your right length, we will continue from here with the sides. Refer back to the regular width on how to do the side part. The only difference will be it will be 1 extra stitch in this section here. After 5 rows, come back here to start round 6. You should now have your 5 rows complete. We can now continue with the heel. Chain 2 and turn. 2 back post double crochet. We will then do one front post double crochet and then a front post double crochet decrease. We will then take the next 8 stitches and we will make it into 6 stitches. Starting with the back post double crochet decrease. And then 4 back post double crochet. And then we will do another back post double crochet decrease. And you will now see that you have 6 stitches. Front post double crochet decrease. And a front post double crochet. And finishing row 6 with 3 back post double crochet. Row 7 will start with a chain 2 and turn. We will then have 2 front post double crochet. Two back post double crochet, and then we will do 3 front post double crochet decrease. So we will take 6 and put it to 3 stitches. Two back post double crochet, and then 3 front post double crochet. Row 8, chain 2, turn. We will start with 2 back post double crochet. Then we will do a front post double crochet decrease. So these 2 will go into 1. And then 3 back post double crochet. Front post double crochet decrease, and finishing row 8 with 3 back post double crochet. Row 9 will start with a chain 2 and turn. Let's do 2 front post double crochet. Then we will have a back post double crochet. Then we will put 3 front post double crochet decrease. So all 3 will go into 1. Going around the first around the second, and around the third, and yarning over, going through all 4 loops on the hook, and we've just made 3 go into 1. Finishing row 9 with the back post double crochet and 3 front post double crochet. For our last row, do not chain, just turn. We will then do 1 front post double crochet decrease. So 1 around this stitch, and bringing it together with this stitch, and joining together for the decrease. Slip stitch to join in the top of the chain 2. You can now go back to about the 35-minute part of the video to do the ankle portion of this slipper. Remember, the only difference is going to be you will have an extra stitch on the top. So this section here, you will have the extra stitch. Extra wide width. This is the extra wide. Compared to the regular that has 7 front post double crochet across the top, this has 10. So it actually has 6 more stitches, 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom for width. The sides are exactly the same. With the wider width, you will also get a wider ankle. Compared to the regular, which is about 4 inches or 10 centimeters across the top, the wide one is going to be almost 5 inches or 13 centimeters. If you use a number 4 medium weight yarn, the slipper will come out smaller. Let's start with the magic circle. We can then chain 1 and do 8 single crochet in the circle. Pull snug and slip stitch to join. For round 2, we will start with the chain 1 and we're going to go 2 double crochet in each stitch. Again, slip stitch to join, and let's start round 3. We'll start with the chain 1, and again we're going to put 2 double crochet in each stitch. This round should have 32 stitches when you are done. Slip stitch to join, and we'll be ready to start round 4. Round 4, we're going to start with the chain 1. We will now do 10 front post double crochet. Remember to refer back to the regular width if you need this slowed down. This will be the top of our slipper. We will then continue with 3 back post double crochet and then 3 front post double crochet for the sides. And now 10 back post double crochet for the bottom of the slipper. Three front post double crochet and then 3 back post double crochet. Always slip stitch to join in the top of the first double crochet, and now we're going to repeat these rounds for rounds 5 to 14, or for however long you want to make your slipper. My slipper measured about 6 to 7 inches, which is about 16 to 18 centimeters. You can see here that I did 14 rows. 1, 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. You can always make these longer or shorter if needed. We can now do the sides. Refer to the regular pattern to do these 5 rows. Go to about the 17-minute mark of this video to do your 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, you can always make 2 more rows if needed. Remember to come back to this point to do row 6. The only adjustment you would have had to make on this would just be extra stitches along the bottom. So after you know how long this is going to be, make sure you stop at this side here. I only did the 5 rows, so now we're going to start with row 6. Let's start with the chain 2 and turn. We will start with 2 back post double crochet. We will then do a front post double crochet, and then we will do a front post double crochet decrease, so putting 2 together. Along the bottom, we will have 10 stitches go into 5 stitches. So we're going to do 5 back post double crochet decrease. You should now have 5 stitches instead of 10. We will then do a front post double crochet decrease, and you can see this matches up to the other side, and then a front post double crochet and 3 back post double crochet. Row 7, we'll start with a chain 2 and turn. We will start with 2 front post double crochet. And now 2 back post double crochet. And now we're going to decrease these 5 stitches to 3. So we'll start with the front post double crochet decrease. Follow this with just a front post double crochet. There's your decrease, and now a front post double crochet, and another front post double crochet decrease. So now you have 1, 2, 3 stitches. Let's do 2 back post double crochet and finish the row with 3 front post double crochet. You can now see how the heel is starting to form. Let's do row 8, start with the chain 2 and turn. We will start with 2 back post double crochet. Then we will do a front post double crochet decrease, and now 3 back post double crochet, another front post double crochet decrease, and finishing with 3 back post double crochet. Row 9, we'll start with a chain 2 and turn. Let's start with 2 front post double crochet. One back post double crochet, and now we're going to do a 3 front post double crochet decrease. So going into the first one, stopping, around the second post, and stop, and then around the third one, and stop, and then we're going to yarn over, go through all 4. We've now put 3 stitches into 1. Follow this by a back post double crochet, and then 3 front post double crochet. For row 10, do not chain, just turn. We will now do one front post double crochet decrease. So going around one and then around to the next one and finish the stitch. And then we're going to slip stitch to join. If you look for that chain 2, it'll be the top of the chain 2, this one here. Slip stitch to join. We can now start doing around the ankle. Go to the regular width pattern at about the 35-minute point, and you can see how to finish off for the ankle portion. You can make this as high as you would like. The only difference will be you will have 29 stitches in each round. Narrow width. This width is great to make children's size slippers. This one here is with the bulky yarn. I used this yarn here, which is a number 5 bulky. I actually got a complete set out of the 100-gram ball. This narrow version is different. It has 6 front post double crochet along the top, but on the sides we're just going to have 2 stitches and 2 stitches, and then another 6 along the bottom. So a little bit different. As you can see, if you take the number 4 medium weight yarn, how much smaller these little slippers will become. Using the bulky yarn, they were about 7 inches long or 18 centimeters. And again, you can make it longer or shorter if you would like. And then with the medium weight yarn, they were about 5 inches or 13 centimeters. As you can see here for the width, they're only going to be about, it looks like about 3 inches maybe. Which is 8 centimeters, and the little one is about 2 inches wide, maybe 2.5. So let's start with a magic circle. Let's do 10 double crochet in the circle. Pull snug and slip stitch to join in the top of the first double crochet. So round 1 will be 10 stitches. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to do 2 double crochet in each stitch, starting in that very first stitch. You will have 20 stitches in this round. Again, we will slip stitch to join in the top of the first double crochet. Chain 1, and we will start with our front post double crochet. Starting in the first double crochet, let's do 6 front post double crochet. If you need some help with this for a slowed down version, go back to the regular width to see how it is done. This will be the top of our slipper. We will now do 2 back post double crochet. And now 2 front post double crochet. Now 6 back post double crochet. Finishing the side, we'll do 2 front post double crochet and 2 back post double crochet. We're going to slip stitch to join in the top of the very first double crochet. Repeat this pattern for rounds 4 to 10, or however long you'd like to make that slipper. Remember to weave in your starting yarn. I have 10 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's do the sides. Do not chain and turn your work. From the inside of the slipper, we're just going to slip stitch over 1 stitch. We will then chain 2. This counts as your first double crochet. We will then do a front post double crochet and then 2 back post double crochet. Then 6 front post double crochet, two back post double crochet, and 2 front post double crochet. This is row 1. For row 2, we'll start with the chain 2 and turn. We will then do a back post double crochet, then 2 front post double crochet, six back post double crochet. Two front post double crochet, and 2 back post double crochet, 1 around the stitch and 1 around the chain 2. For row 3, we're going to repeat row 1. So let's start this with the chain 2 and turn. We will then do a front post double crochet, 2 back post double crochet, and then 6 front post double crochet. Finishing the row with 2 back post double crochet, and 2 front post double crochet, 1 around the post and 1 around the chain 2. For this slipper, we are going to stop with just 3 rows. We will do a couple more, but that will be the heel that shapes up and around. So let's do row 4, chain 2 and turn. We will start with the back post double crochet. We're then going to do a decrease. So this is putting these 2 together, going around the first post and stopping, around the second post, going through 2, stop, yarn over, pull through all 3, and this is your decrease. Let's do 3 back post double crochet decrease. So we're going to have 6 stitches go into 3. That's 1 back post decrease, 2, and 3. So 6 is now 3. We'll then do another front post double crochet decrease, let's try this again. So those 2 together, so around the first one, stop, around the second one, stop, and yarn over through 3. And then finishing with the 2 back post double crochet. For row 5, we'll do a chain 2 and turn. We will then start with 1 front post double crochet, then 1 back post double crochet, we will then do a 3 front post double crochet decrease. So we're going to put all 3 into 1, going around the first post and around the second post, always stopping halfway through the stitch, and around the third. We're going to yarn over and go through all 4. We have done these 3 stitches to 1. We will then do a back post double crochet and 2 front post double crochet. Starting with row 6, we're just going to turn. Do not chain. We will then do a front post double crochet decrease. So going around this first one here, and then around the next one, and we're going to put those together. And now we will slip stitch to join. So in that chain 2 space here, into the chain 2, we're going to go into the top of that chain 2. So right in there to slip stitch to join. This has now formed our heel. We're now going to do the ankle. So chain 1, and on this slipper we're going to go around that very first stitch from the round below. So all of these will be front post double crochet. So we're going to do 5. So that's 1, this is 2, 3. So we're finding the end of each row. This is number 4. And this will be number 5. And then we have a corner stitch, which is like 2 stitches here. We're going to go around both on the corner. So pulling them together for 1 stitch. We're then going to do 6 double crochet along the top. Not that little chain 1 space, but that first double crochet. So 6 along the top. Again, we will have a corner stitch, so going around both of those on the corner, and then 5 more double crochet. So at the end of each of those rows. This here is number 4. And on this slipper, we're going to go around that one there, which is 5. And then now we're going to go around that center stitch that we made with a front post double crochet. And then we're going to slip stitch to join in the top of the very first one. You should have 19 stitches in each round. Repeat all the front post double crochet with 19 stitches in each round until you have the height that you would like for the ankle. Be sure to watch to the end to see how to put a little gripper on the bottom of these soles. Thank you for watching this detailed version of this video. I sure hope you've enjoyed it and I've answered all of your questions. We'll see you again soon. Bye!